following podcast is being brought to you by the Defy Life Podcast Network.
This week on the Defy Life Podcast, the guys discuss the latest on the Armauhd Arbery case and a potential Mike Tyson comeback. They also give their weekly movie recommendations. And as always, they answer a listener question and wrap it all up with some trivia. On to the show. Yeah, that's what it is. I guess we gotta do it then. You alright? Check. Pool. Money. West Coast. Let's get it. Strap in, let's take a ride. Oh yeah, it's about that time, right? Been waiting all week to get to this. It's finally time to defy life. Let's chop it up, keep it real, no other way. That's what we do. We might disagree, but it's all love. Guarantee we gon' speak the truth. Yeah, this hit different. My guys with me now. Who's with us? Stick around for a few minutes. It's contagious. You'll get it. You downloaded the realest. Don't feel us, forget out. You not rocking with Defy Life, then what's your life about? This ain't the Defy Life. On to the shy line. I'm gonna let this ride out though. This is the Defy Life. This is the Defy Life. Welcome back to the Defy Life Podcast, powered by the Defy Life Podcast Network. This episode is sponsored by Bud Bottles, home of the Bud Bottle and the Bud Freshener. Please visit budbottles.com for your odor eliminating needs. This is episode 157. Y'all come on in, wipe your feet, close the door behind you. I'm your host, J.R. Glimph, joined as always by my wonderful coach, Alvin Glimph. What's good with you, cousin?
Man, chilling like a dude who is 90 years old.
Word.
Yeah,
man.
you know, it's a day after my birthday. So it is. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Beautiful day yesterday. Beautiful day today. And just have it behind me. But it feels great.
Word. Half a century, half a buck. That's what I'm talking about.
Half a buck up in this bitch.
Right.
And it's crazy, man. It's like, it's even saying it 50 just seems, but you don't. I know you hear it sounds like so cliche as I don't feel 50, but I swear I don't feel 50.
Right.
Although at times, but it definitely, like, when you make comments like, oh no, I've been down in Atlanta for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
Then I seem 50.
Right.
It's like, damn, 30 years.
Wow.
It's a long damn time. So, feels good, man. Good to be on here, as always.
Well, cool. Well, quick question.
How you doing?
I'm good. You just sparked a question in my head. So, talking to, when you talk to different people, especially around their birthdays, especially milestone birthdays, some people have more trouble with certain milestone birthdays. Like, it hits them harder. Have you which of your milestone birthdays hit you hardest? Like, oh shit, this is real.
The without a doubt, there's two birthdays that stand out as the major milestones for me. Mm-hmm. One was 25, the other was 39.
Wow. And
25 was significant because at the time that was kind of the black man. So many black men don't even make it to 25. So I felt like, damn, with my luck, I'll be one of them dudes that don't make it to 25.
Right.
Made it to 25, and then 39 was significant because that was the age my father died on his birthday at the age of 39. So for us, his children, each one of us, we all wondered if we were going to be the one who repeated it, and to each one of us, like as we were in that 38th year, that 39th birthday was scary as hell. So
right.
I remember laying in my bed, kind of pinching myself, looking up at the wind, looking up at the ceiling, like, nigga, you made it. You made it. You made it.
You made it.
And you made it. And from there, it was really like a kind of like a second life. That one,
Wow.
it was kind of like a, like, damn, I'm living on borrowed time now and
Right.
shit, because I don't outlived my father.
Wow. Good shit, man.
Yeah. So I mean, so to your question, 50. Honestly, the hoopla is greater than 49 and 48 and blah blah blah. But me personally, emotionally, it's no bigger or better. It's just another year in the book.
No doubt. All right. Mm-hmm. Cool. All right. Well, yeah, I'm good, man. To answer your question, I'm good. Glad as always, glad to hear your voice on here. Pooh will be joining us shortly. Y'all don't freak out. Y'all should be used to this by now.
You know it.
It wouldn't be the Defy Life Podcast if Pooh showed up on time.
Okay. Not 2 weeks in a row.
Right. Man. But yeah, so he'll be here in about 20. Yeah. So, but I'm good though. Good to have you back. I was, I take it, your son's birthday was good and everything was good with that.
Everything was great with that. Because I wasn't here last week. And honestly, no disrespect, because I had a good birthday, but I had a lot more fun on his birthday. Okay. We did like a water gun fight for his birthday, and it was a surprise. And we had the super soakers, and he walked out the house and had like 7-8 people lock and loaded. Word. And just like wet them up, and then for the next 20-30 minutes right, next 20-30 minutes, bro, we was in the driveway in the yard running, screaming like we was 12.
That's good shit.
So it was cool. Plus got to meet his latest significant other. Okay. Met her for the first time. She seemed like a nice young lady. Okay. And so that's always
she ain't ugly, is she? Because if she is, I'm a clown.
Nah, she was not ugly. She was ugly. Yeah. But that's real. It's a real balance, because definitely, in your younger years, physical beauty is
right.
As we grow older, we know two things. One, physical beauty fades.
Right.
Two, it is so more important that people get you, respect you, treat you well, are honest with you. So it's hard to get that physical attraction out of the young person's head, because I get it and I was there. But trust me, it is low on the totem pole when it comes to how well they treat you. It is. And she seems, to the point, she seems like someone who has a good spirit, comfortable in her skin, go get her. So I had a good vibe from her.
Good. But at the same time, when you're young, you do want to catch you a couple.
You do.
So, which is why
I get it.
I definitely get. You want it for him. So, that's what I was saying. Catch you one, man. If she ugly and you 23, I can clown you. If she ugly and she, you 60, I'll be like, yeah, she good people though.
She good people. Because you're right. At that age, you can take your time to try to get both. You don't have to pick at that age. You can be like, no, not what I'm looking for.
Right.
So, yeah.
So, man, I kid, but when you're 23, you don't quite understand that. So, so I'm going. Nah, not at all. And rightfully so. So I get it. But yeah, man. Yeah. Then also, congrats to you and to my wife and your wife and the Pooh and his wife. For launching our first episode of One Eye Shut. We had fun with our first episode. Looking forward to another one this week. This is a really good opportunity for us and our listeners to see us in a different with our wives and touch on different topics, and it was fun. So I'm looking forward to episode 2.
It was definitely fun. Me too. I love the concept. Listening to the first show, it was real good energy, good chemistry from the first, right off the rip. And as I've mentioned it to folk, they really get it, and I think it'll be a nice addition to the network and just the podcast sector in general. So,
absolutely,
yeah, looking forward to what we do and going.
Right. And speaking of additions to the network, so not only One Eye Shut, but in your absence last week, West Coast Jay had the pleasure of stepping in with me and Pooh and speaking with G and Lala from Sip on This. So there'll be another addition to the network. So that'll be fun. They, as West Coast Jay said, they're kind of a female version of Unsupervised. So that's interesting enough to say the least. And then also Pooh's wife, Shakita, her and her sister Kwanda, and their cousin, Tessie, Crown Me Tessie. They have a show. They're about 5-6 episodes in, and it's called Cornbread Fed, where they focus on women's empowerment. They are also going to be joining the network. And shout out to Tessie, Crown Me Tessie. So I don't know if you saw this on social media, but Omari Hardwick, a.k.a. Ghost from Power, was doing a live reading of poetry submissions from just people that want to send in their poetry to him, and he read it on a Facebook Live. So Crown Me Tessie, who was on Cornbread Fed and on Speak the Truth, she ends Speak the Truth with one of her poems every week on the show. She submitted hers, and she was like, I'll just submit it, and I jump in the shower, keep listening, and maybe hopefully he'll get to mine or he reads mine. Lo and behold, he was the first one that she read. I mean, hers was the first one that he read, and she got her her poetry read by Omari Hardwick live on Facebook this weekend. So dope for you. Congrats to you, Tessie.
Congratulations, and she is a very, very dope poet.
Yes, she is.
Yes.
Yeah,
I like her shit, like her style.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, Defy Life just keep pumping out gems, man. I love this shit.
Yeah, man. It's cool, and I've had some conversations with a couple of my buddies, and they like, how's it going? And they, have seen us doing it over the years. And at the end of the day, man, I'm like, the opportunity to, have your voice and, come up with your creative expression. I think that's what's dope about it. And, let's keep bringing out them gems, man. Let's keep bringing out, because it's a lot of different voices out here, and we're giving voice to it. So let's keep doing it.
Yeah, I couldn't say that better. So we're going to keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
Yeah. So as always, we do want to do a little bit of house cleaning before we jump into the meat of the show. So as we always do, want to shout out a couple patrons, because without their support, we couldn't do this. So this week, I want to shout out our youngest patrons, McKinley Higgins and Marley Suber. McKinley just turned 6 this weekend, so wanted to give her a shout out for her birthday. Those are Kim's nieces. So shout out McKinley and her little sister Marley. Marley is 2, almost 2. Of course, Jayla, their mom, they ain't got jobs, so she pay for their patronage every month. So shout out to you, Jayla and BJ. But just want to shout them out, man. Whatever your support y'all give Defy Life, we definitely appreciate it. Folks always ask, what's the best way to support the network? Go to patreon.com/Go Defy Life and become a patron of Defy Life. You can help support our growth and allow us to host events and continue to work in the community. For less than the number 2 combo at Wendy's, you can support Defy Life. And also, don't forget to check out each of our platforms for our written content at GoDefyLife.com, for all of our podcasts at DefyLifePods.com, and for our branded apparel at DefyLifeGear.com. Did I cover it all, Al?
You did, bro. You hit it on the dot.
Well, let's get down to business then. Oh, man. So, again, as y'all know by now, this may be the last week of our movie suggestions. Folks getting out in the streets these days. So we just got to play this by ear, because
it is, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah. So that being said, what's your potentially final movie recommendation for the quarantine?
Well, if since this potentially might be the final one, then I'll do the one I watched last night with my family on birthday movie night with Alvin Glimpse. And so I introduced my children and my sister-in-law to the movie Claudine with James Earl Jones and Diane Carroll. And so, they came in reluctantly because it was, a movie from 73, 74.
Right.
And I get that. When I was that age, I wouldn't have really liked to watch a movie that was 40 years old either. So I get that like that.
Right.
But to their credit, they watched it. They laughed. They had questions. They appreciated it. And my sister-in-law, she loved the fact that she was seeing a young James Earl Jones, a younger James Earl Jones. So it was cool. And then even to see to see time and how people lived, the cars, the dress, the music of the time. People they got that too. So if you haven't seen Claudine, it is a African American movie classic, just from the early 70s, and all black cast, well reviewed, well received, and it just added to your list of the movies you just need to see if you haven't seen Claudine.
Cool. Well, yeah, you turned me on to it when you asked our cousins group. Those of you that don't know, we about 25 deep in cousins that are like siblings. So
Right.
we have a chat group with all of our cousins, and then Al posed the question, what are the top 5 black movies of all time? And of course, when you on the spot, you're gonna forget something, or something gets pushed out, and tomorrow you feel differently. So Claudine was one of yours, and that put me on the Claudine. So that's on my watch list for tomorrow. So never saw it. So thanks for that one. And it's funny that you put Claudine for your movie recommendation for this week, and you mentioned Diane Carroll because her my suggestion is a movie that she was in, and it got left off my list, and I was kicking myself for it because it's absolutely in my top 2 for black movies of all time. Don't know how I left it off my list, but 5 Heartbeats.
Oh my goodness! Oh wow! Nobody
mentioned 5 Heartbeats. And then also I had my kids watch it this weekend, thinking the same. Like halfway through, they were going to be like, "Yeah, I don't want to watch this old." Not even halfway through the movie, they was like, "What's wrong with Eddie?" Oh man, JT wrong. So now my kids are 5 Heartbeats fans. So like I said in the text group, I know I'm forgetting something. I'm gonna change my list tomorrow. I know I am. So 5 Heartbeats is absolutely on my list, and it's my movie recommendation for this week. So,
without a doubt, and the thing about the list, it was merely for conversation purposes. So it's like you said. I think it's impossible to come with 5.
Yeah.
So it's really just about let's just put 5 movies out there. We know you're gonna forget some, but let's just throw 5 out there so it could just kind of come to people's awareness as these were really, 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 really good movies. But the fact that we listed between the 25 cousins, I'm sure we throw out there about 20 movies, and folks forgot 5 Heartbeats. It's I'm sure just an oversight because that was a great movie. You just can't list them all.
Right. So so needless to say, my list has been revised 18 times since you asked that question, and but 5 Heartbeats remains towards the top of that list. This is one that's not going to be pushed off. So I'm sure most of you listening to this have seen 5 Heartbeats. If you haven't, go watch it right after you watch Claudine. Watch both of them. So,
great movie. And honestly, it would have been hard if I said, give me a top 20 black movies.
Right.
Because, then it would have been like, damn, it's 23rd, it's 24th.
Exactly.
So
either way. Right.
it's either way. But Five Heartbeats was without a doubt the lines in that movie, classic.
Yeah.
And then again, I love movies that have a story, like a real, and it tells the story of R&B.
Yeah,
it really tells the story of R&B and how it went from just singing on the corners and how difficult it was to the selling out of it eventually. And I mean, they're not selling out, but becoming more mainstream.
Right.
And you know what that was like for artists. Crossover. Right. Crossover ain't nothing but a double cross.
Right. Yeah. And then like it speaks to how underrated. And shout out to and no knock on John Singleton, Spike Lee. But Robert Townsend is completely underrated when it comes to writing and directing.
Yeah.
People don't take him as seriously because he was a comedian, but Robert Townsend is a spot on director and writer, and for him to write and compose and be a part of the music in that movie is huge. And that soundtrack is dope. I love Five Heartbeats, man. Can't get enough of it.
I mean, I think shout out to Robert Townsend in that, a lot of Black Hollywood, from the movie side of it to the comedy side of it, they stand on Robert Townsend's shoulders in terms of what he contributed and what he was doing in the probably 80s and 90s. I mean, like, you talk about, you got that movie Hollywood Shuffle, but, but in his tree, like, Parcells got a coaching tree. Robert Townsend's tree includes David Allen Greer. It includes Wayans. Each of them,
all of them,
from Keenan, like he put Keenan on, right? You know what I'm saying? And now Keenan then put a lot of folk on,
right? But
it was Townsend that put, Keenan Ivory Wayans is and Damon are like extras in Hollywood Shuffle. You know what I mean? Like they getting a break to be in Hollywood Shuffle. But it was cool because they did a good job. So yeah, shout out to Robert Townsend. You right, he's definitely overlooked contributor to black film, without a doubt.
No doubt. I mean, and he's a triple threat. He can sing, he can act, he can direct, he does it all. So yeah, man. So
and we'll talk. He used to do these shows on HBO.
The one man stand. Yeah, like was it like one man's one something? I forgot the name, but Robert.
Yeah, something like that. But right. It was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
You look at what HBO has done in terms of black comedians in the 90s and the 2000s. I mean, Def Comedy Jam.
Right.
A lot of that again traces back to him being successful at that time.
Yeah. And I remember one of his shows was like so huge just by the names that were on it. It was, it was, of course, the Wayans were on it, but Whoopi Goldberg showed up for him. Robin Williams showed up for him. And then at the end, he closed the show out singing a duet with Howard Hewitt.
Partners in Crime.
Partners in Crime, exactly what it was. Yes.
I had to Google it.
Yeah.
Partners in Crime.
So, not only is he, like underrated, but he's so well respected by his peers that people show up for him. And again, 40 years after a lot of his early work, it's still relevant. People still love Five Heartbeats. People still know a lot of that stuff. People still singing those songs. Yeah,
I got to see that one again. Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch Five Heartbeats again, just because I haven't seen it in a while. And what's so funny, just a little quick Five Heartbeat story. That was the movie that I watched a lot with a 5-year-old, 6-year-old, my son, and just to kind of calm him down, give him something to do. Let's watch Five Heartbeats, and until my wife like overruled me and was like, "This is really not appropriate for a 5-year-old." 6-year-old to be watching, and by that time he was hooked. He knew the songs, knew the lines.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with showing a 5-year. Every 5-year-old should know Eddie Kane Jr. So, ain't nothing wrong with that. Oh man, yeah, man. So shout out to again 5 Heartbeats, and Robert Townsend and Claudette and James Earl Jones. Y'all definitely check those out. And if this is the last week of us recommending movies, we've been having fun with this. Y'all welcome. But hopefully y'all have watched a lot of these and got the enjoyment that we've gotten out of them. And if we still stuck in the house next week, for the most part, then we'll give y'all some more. So we'll keep rolling with it. So Al, last time you
I've enjoyed it. I've enjoyed it.
So a couple weeks ago, when you were on, we talked about this was the early stages of us finding out information on the Armauhd Arbery case in Brunswick, Georgia. For those of you who aren't aware, you should be aware by now, unless you've been living under a rock somewhere. Or if you got COVID, I excuse you. But in Brunswick, Georgia, it was a 25-year-old young man jogging through a neighborhood, and apparently a mostly white neighborhood. And he was followed and gunned down by 2 men, a father and a son, last name McMichael, Gregory and Travis McMichael, followed him in their pickup truck with a rifle and 2 pistols, and basically blocked him off and had an altercation and shot and killed him. Because as they stated, they were making a citizen's arrest because they accused him of breaking into an open construction site where there was a home being built. And like most of us, I know when I go for walks sometimes, or especially as a young person, I would always look around at construction sites just to see how they build houses, and just curious. And a lot of people do that. And so they accused him of breaking in. So now it's come out, of course, that the video of the actual shooting has come out. The pictures of whoever the perpetrator was of going into the construction site, whether it was him or not. Some people say it is, some people say it isn't. Whether that's true or not, for one, the owner of the construction site said, I don't care. Nothing was stolen. People come look at construction sites all the time, so I don't mind. So he didn't break any laws. And 2, even if he did, they don't give anybody the right to shoot him and kill him and chase him down like an animal. So, what do you stand with this? I'll say this, because I'm going to keep this real brief. This happened February 23rd, and the video was available. The video of the actual shooting, it was on video of the actual killing. The murder was on video since then, since day one. They didn't make arrests when they had the video. They made arrests when we saw the video. That's telling to me. What are your thoughts?
I guess my thoughts are that situations like this have been going on around our country for decades since we've been here. And that there were attacks made on people of African descent in this country that were unprovoked, uncalled for, and illegal. And because of the perspective or of the law enforcement, or the relationships that law enforcement might have with the perpetrators, acts like this was ignored or swept under the rug. Right. You can go back to Emmett Till. This is not new at all. This is really part of our existence in this country, and tragically, this is part of our existence. And so what I try to convey to people when this is happening is what if you don't live in our shoes and can't appreciate the psychological impact on having to exist in an environment where this is your reality, then you are really missing the point about what it means to be black in America. Because to me, that's what I first get when I see stuff like this, is that, damn, this is happening. This has been happening. This could have been me. This could have been somebody I know, somebody I love. Like, that's just what it means to be in this country.
Right.
And it's not just that you could be attacked, because shit, everybody can be attacked. But the fact that our lives are, in some people's eyes, some people's hearts, so unvaluable that justice will not be, you won't receive justice because that's how y'all value our life. So that's kind of my thought. The other thing I want to say is that while I'm always interested to see how these things play out, because I am one who also likes to, hope for progress, hope for change. So, I think the fact that even though it was, there was an attempt to ignore it, the fact that, people have been arrested, that might not have happened 40, 50 years ago. Shit might not have happened 20 years ago. So I think
it almost didn't happen now.
It almost didn't happen now, right? But I mean, it shows you the power of technology.
Right.
It shows you, just it's real. It's a lot harder to happen now. But you wonder how many times is it happening, and it is getting swept under the rug. Like the people, we are missing that, right? But I'm hopeful that real justice can occur, and I just continue to applaud people who are pushing the envelope, trying to get change through struggle. So it will take a hard work, a lot of time, but I appreciate the community trying to lift this man up as an example of why things need to be different.
Right. Absolutely. And again, like you said, it's, I see so many people, be it on social media or, people, when I say people, I mean, usually white folks who, they're genuinely, and not in the derogatory sense, but they're genuinely ignorant on how frustrating this is, and how it feels to be in these situations repeatedly, especially when they don't understand how it feels to, and a lot of them don't attempt to understand or empathize how it feels to see your son in someone else and think that could be my kid one day. Simply because of his color, or because of some bias, or some deeply laden fear that they have of my skin color, and they weaponize it. So they don't get it, and I've gotten to, I don't have those back and forth conversations anymore, because most of these people are people that I went to school with, and I know them, and I know they're very intelligent people. They were in the same advanced classes I was in, so I know they're not stupid. It's just willful ignorance. So I don't have these back and forth conversations, because at some point you definitely get that they are trying not to get it, so they don't have to change. That's the frustrating part when you dip your toe into those waters.
Yeah, man. I can remember my senior year in front of the Cultural Center talking to this white guy, Brian Osborne. Never forget this guy. He's now a superintendent somewhere. And good guy out of Chicago, and we were in an organization called Coalition for a Better World, right? So it was a woman's, Dr. Elaine Tedler. She was the runner, the person who oversaw the cultural center. She had the bright idea that, you know what, let me bring some of these different leaders from these different organizations and bring them together and try to help them to advocate and strategize to make the campus better. And so I was one of those students. I'm sitting there with this guy, and something had happened on campus. I can't remember what the incident was, but I was frustrated because, again, people were displaying their ignorance of the existence of people on this campus. And we really got into this long conversation about this concept of there's an arrogance of their ignorance.
Right.
That they really have, like, in an arrogant way, they don't have to be aware of my plight and choose not to.
Right.
Where I don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
Like, I have to understand both perspectives, but they're choosing not to, and like it's offensive that they're arrogantly saying, I'll stay ignorant.
Right.
Like, wow. I don't get that.
Right. And they don't get the fact that they have a choice is a privilege. So
So, you know, part of being black, it really, you know, as we talk about, you know, how do we deal with the fact that, you know, we live in this experience and how do we raise our children? You know, you as a parent, you have to, one, help them be aware of the fear, of the anxiety, of the, you know, like that this is real. So understand, walk accordingly. But at the same time, how we raise our kids in regards to any fear, you can't live scared, though. So, you know, we are, while that is part of our experience being black in America, I refuse to accept that. Like, you know, I'm American just like everybody else is American, and I am entitled to everything that comes with being an American. And so when we get slighted in this regard, in the sense of we are not getting justice, well, guess what? As an American, I'm entitled to justice. That's part of what I get here. So anytime they slight us, they really are, in my opinion, diminishing our status as Americans. And to me, that is totally unacceptable.
Absolutely.
Like, we are every bit of American as everybody else, and then some. And when you look at our history and what our ancestors have contributed to this country, we've definitely paid our weight in blood, sweat, and tears. So give me that.
Damn right.
Give me that.
Yeah. So, as we've seen before, you know, an arrest does not necessarily mean, you know, that the perpetrators are going to, you know, end up in prison or be found guilty. But this is the first step. So at least we've gotten this far, and we will continue to talk about it as the situation moves along. So everybody keep an eye out and keep prayers up for his mom and his family. Man, it's affecting a lot of people.
Real talk.
So, so something else we saw this week. Last week it's maybe 2 weeks ago, I saw a clip of Mike Tyson getting back in training, and it was like a 6-second clip of him with his trainer, just throwing punches, looking like he's just, you know, really like a young Mike Tyson in training, like the head movements, the power in his blows. A couple days later, they came out and said that Mike was thinking about, you know, going on like doing some exhibition matches, like 4-round bouts, just to, you know, get his feet wet again. And then he started talking about making an actual comeback at 53. And then there was a release of another video, a longer video, like a compilation video of him training at 53. The man looks good. I mean, it's hard for Mike Tyson to look bad boxing. But even by his standards, you know, the pop is in his, you know, in his gloves, the head movement is there. But, you know, that trainer ain't hitting back. The pads ain't hitting back, and they ain't moving. So, in today's heavyweight landscape, do you think Mike Tyson, if he made a comeback, could at least, you know, put his thumbprint on this era?
You know, when I first saw the question, preparing for the show, I was like, hell no. Nah. And actually, my thought was, you know, I'm a Tyson fan, but considering how you went out against Lennox Lewis, I wouldn't mind seeing you come back and get knocked the fuck out, honestly.
Right.
Because I still, as a huge Tyson fan, feel a certain kind of way about that, right? But as you were talking just now, what came through my mind was George Foreman.
Right.
And when he came back at his age, everybody was like, it's impossible.
And he started out with exhibition matches, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, that was 20 years ago.
Right.
So, like, a lot of things have improved in terms of, people's conditioning, their health. So, if it's possible, I would be interested in seeing it. I mean, even though I'm not optimistic just because the odds are against him, but at the same time, I wouldn't discount him. He's overcome a lot. And I know as someone who is close to his age that you can develop a certain focus in some ways about things as you've got to this point in life. And, I'm not impressed with anybody in the heavyweight set, the group right now. And not that I would say Mike can knock them all out, but I'm just saying I don't see nobody that I'm like, oh yeah, he's amazing. There's no way in hell anybody can knock him out. So, again, I would like to see it, and I'd cheer him on. Yeah, Mike, absolutely. Do your thing.
Yeah, and one thing we can say we've never seen, even in his prime, was a Mike Tyson with a level head. Never saw it. We don't know what he could have been if he was level-headed and all of his, hormones were balanced, and he was mentally healthy, physically healthy, emotionally, all of that. We've never seen that. He grew up in chaos. His training program after Custom Model died was chaos. So we've never seen the prime Mike Tyson, even in his prime, healthy outside of his physical state. So at this point, man, and then the older you get, when you see somebody with an opportunity to do something that changes the world, fuck it, do it.
Do it.
So if you're 53 and you feel like you can, if you're 53 and you feel like there's a chance you could become heavyweight champion again, fuck it, go try it. Do that shit.
And the thing I love about boxing is one of those sports that there ain't no future in your fronting. You either do it, you either is or you ain't.
Right.
So it ain't gonna be long before we realize that.
You're right. Yeah.
You ain't got it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, because it ain't like
you
can come back in like the NBA and be the 10th man on the bench and play 5 minutes a game and be like, oh man, Mike looked good.
Yeah. Nah, not in this.
Can't do that.
Not in this, son.
Right.
They like, oh damn, yeah, Mike, you shouldn't have came.
Right. You go find out immediately. Yeah.
Immediately.
Right.
But it does kind of give me a motivation to go watch some old Mike Tyson clips and fights because he was just an amazing knockout artist.
Oh man.
So that's the stuff you've ever seen came behind his punch.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of all-time great, Thomas Stevens, welcome, sir.
Man, what's good, gentlemen? How are you?
I'm good.
What up?
How are you?
Not much. I'm well, man. I'm just listening to y'all throw Mike out there, man. You
don't want to see Mike back in the ring?
I would love to see Mike, but I would love, the fan in me, but the 53-year-old, like, sensible me. Well, Mike being fit, I don't know if I want to see Mike get him out there, man.
But if he does, then what? So what? If he does, he's 53. You expect what 53-year-old man you expect to go out there and beat?
Zilch.
Right.
Zilch. Yeah.
Like, how old is Michael Jordan? About 53. He's in his 50s, right?
Yeah, he's about 56, I think.
Shit, if Mike said I was coming back tomorrow, I'd be all for it. Mike said I was coming out because I ain't expecting him to go out and lead the league in scoring. But shit, if Mike 55, 56, if Mike Tyson's 53 and he thinks he got a shot at that shit at 53, fuck that, go try it. Because like you said, the reality side of me is like, Mike gonna get his ass whooped. But if he doesn't, then we got another, like we said the same thing about George Foreman. You know, they've been saying the same thing about Bernard Hopkins for 10 years. So, man, I'm with it. And then the great thing about boxing, especially heavyweight boxing, and especially Mike Tyson, he's only one punch away.
Yeah, that's true.
That's definitely true.
You know, and
not disputing that at all.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm with it, man. I mean, I'm with you. I ain't expecting him to become a heavyweight champ again, but it might want to say he coming back. I'm all with that, man. And I just like seeing Mike Tyson healthy, man, like all around and happy and content with his life, and because when we saw him in his prime, Mike wasn't a healthy dude at all.
Right.
He was just physically intimidating, and he could get by on physical sheer talent that he didn't have to, you know, and not have to deal with life while he was in the ring. But it's good to see him, you know, being able to interact with people and be a genuine dude, and just have the idea, hey, I'm happy with my life, but I want to try this again. Like I like seeing shit like that, you know. So
I can dig it. I can dig it.
I'd rather see like a senior league, honestly, though.
Michael
You know, like him and Evander Holyfield or Lennox Lewis or
that ain't even
like.
fair.
I'd rather see y'all go at it. Honestly, to see him get in the ring with Deontay, and
yeah, I don't want to see him get
Deontay knock his head off.
Right. But Mike could knock Deontay's head off.
Could
or that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think because all it takes is like, I ain't gonna say all it takes, like it's easy to beat Deontay Wilder or some shit. So I ain't gonna say all it takes, but like
that's all it takes.
Like I don't want to be that guy. Like, man, that's all it takes. But with Mike at 53, like it's a whole lot of shit I can't do physically that I could do 20 years ago. Right?
Correct.
But it's a whole lot of shit that I could do better now because I know how to be smarter about it.
Yeah.
Correct.
And Mike Tyson 20, 30 years ago would probably just try to go in and knock that man's head off. Mike Tyson at 53 understands patience and understands the same thing that Tyson Fury understands. Do away with that one punch and you got a chance. And as we saw, Deontay Wilder ain't got the greatest chin in the world. Might catch him with one shot and he played. I ain't saying Mike should be heavyweight. He's a favorite to win a heavyweight championship. But if it's any 53-year-old I'm picking to go do it, it's Mike Tyson.
Well, I'm looking at the clips now. He do look good, though. I'm looking at some of the clips now. He do look good.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, I don't know. And a lot of it I know is nostalgia. I'm speaking for myself. But I would have loved to see what could have been if we saw a level-headed Mike Tyson in his prime. Man.
Well, for somebody who gray-haired like me, it'd like to be a gray-haired heavyweight champion. That would be
yeah, that'd be dope.
Be like, hold on, wait. Grady is now the heavyweight champion of the world?
Right.
So,
oh, man. Well, shout out to Mike, man. If if he does decide to do it and he makes it to a championship battle with anybody, they could take my money. They got all my money. Charge whatever you want for that pay-per-view. You got mine.
Yeah.
So moving on to our listener question. This is a listener question that we've been trying to get out for 3 weeks now. West Coast Jay done fucked it up for everybody. First of all, the draft came and he submitted his own question. We pushed this one back. Then last week, West Coast Jay was on the show for Al, and it's a question revolving parenthood. West Coast ain't have shit to offer. He ain't got no kids. So we pushed it back again. So finally, the three of us are back on to answer Dante's question. So finally, Dante from Columbus wants to know, and Pooh, you first. Dante's question is, I think my 13-year-old son is sexually active. How do I approach the situation with him? At this point, it's been 2 weeks. Dante, we hope he ain't got a kid on the way by now. But here's our advice to you, Pooh. What say you to Dante?
Wow. I mean, you know, that's your little guy. To me, I don't think he beat around the bush. I mean, he definitely cuts to the chase, and go ahead and ask him. You know, just go ahead and ask him.
Seems like that's what Dante's son is doing.
Right.
Cutting to the chase and beating around the bush. And
ask him, hey, yo,
and looking at it and saying that's his little guy.
Be like, yo, DJ. You know, his name Dante, right?
Yeah.
Okay, be like, yo, DJ. You know, let me holler at you. You know, I don't know, take him for a ride in the car. You know, ask him how he's doing. Say, you know, how are you with the girls? You thinking about girls? You know, give a response. Well, yeah, Dad, maybe. Say, hey, well, you know, if you want to take it to that step, you know, you have to use XYZ. You know, I prefer you to wait until XYZ. However, you know, if you are having that or if you are doing that, you know, please talk to me about it. You know, I'm Dad. I've been your age before. You know, just let him know that you've been there before, that the road that he's traveling is not foreign to you. You know, so I guess you give him confidence about it as well. But I guess let him know if he is doing that, if that is the case, to protect himself, and just let him know your expectations. You know, I would prefer you wait. You know, however, if XYZ, you really can't say don't have it, because once you say don't have it, everything goes out the window, and he's trying to have it every waking moment.
Especially
he gets away
if he
from
didn't already had it.
Right. Every waking moment, he's trying to have it. Once you say, hey, don't have that, and once he's had that taste, you know, get a boy a taste, and it's gone. So, hey, so you know that's how I look at it, man. Don't beat around the bush, man. That's your heir, man. That's your prince. Right. So just go ahead and talk to him, man. Be straight with him. Don't beat around the bush. Don't pussyfoot around. Just get out there and tackle it. Don't be intimidating, because he won't talk to you at that point. Mm-hmm. You know,
and don't be intimidated, because it's a lot of parents get intimidated by that conversation.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right. Al, what say you? What's your advice to Dante?
I love everything, you know, y'all said, like literally everything. I mean, I would just also try to give the why. You know, I would prefer him to wait, you know, to make sure he understands, you know, the risk of it and what that risk means. And so that, you know, because I think at that age, what most youth struggle with is that understanding the consequences of things and thinking big picture. And like y'all said, once you get a taste, you're gonna want it again. So it's real hard to step back and think about, well, damn, what would happen if? And, you know, am I ready for that? So I would just add that to the advice. But otherwise, I agree, you know, be straightforward. And because it's at that age, I get it, you know, because I get it. I was 13, and I definitely appreciate helping them know that you've been down that path before, because I think that is key, because so many boys because that's who we are, like to figure it out by ourselves sometimes. And it's like, you know, that ain't even necessary, bro. You ain't got to do that. Like, I got the cheat code. Help you understand, you know, let me help you through this. Let me help you through this. So that's what I would add. But it's part of being a parent, you know, and that's just helping them figure this out.
Absolutely, man. First off, Dante, I appreciate you trusting us with this. You know, for one, this is all these moments are always powerful for me. To be able to have a platform, to have our voices heard when people trust us. Not saying that, Dante, you have to take our advice, but would you trust us enough to ask us this question and be vulnerable with us? We appreciate that. But first and foremost, yeah, I definitely agree with everything Pooh and Al said. One thing I always make a point to do with my sons is to speak to them like men. I don't sugarcoat anything for them. I don't baby talk them. I never have. I speak to them like men, and I remind them when they start to stray is that you ask me to, you agree that you like when I speak to you and treat you like a man, then I need you to respond accordingly. Otherwise, I'm going to start treating you like a little boy. And they usually comply, and it works. So when I have these conversations with them, I tend to treat it like we hanging out. When we working out, after our workouts, we'll sit around and have conversations, whether it's about girls or sex or finances, how to change a tire or anything. We just sit around and talk. So I treat it like regular conversation. So like Pooh said, is don't be intimidating. Don't make it seem like it's this big deal where like you're intimidated and it's difficult for you. Just talk. Because one thing you learn, and we all know as parents, is when we open up the conversation and we make it a free space to speak, our kids will talk to us. But when we make it difficult and we put this weight on it that it doesn't deserve, then they shut down. Because they sense that we're hesitant and we're weighed down by it. So just have the conversation. Like Pooh said, whether it's, go for a walk after a workout, go out to dinner, whatever it is. Or even if you got to get him a virgin daiquiri, make him feel like he's on your level, like whatever that is. While shooting ball, while you're shooting ball, just have the conversation. But just start the conversation, and he'll open up. And make sure that he knows that you're requesting honesty from him, and that he knows that he's sure that he's going to get honesty from you, because a lot of parents tend to forget what it's like to be a kid. So we don't want to let our kids understand that I've heard this before, and I always say it since I've heard it, is dads are niggas too. And once kid, and even as an adult, it's hard to understand that something. Your dad's just a nigga. He's a regular nigga who fucked up and he had to fix it. Or he's a regular nigga who did something and he had to go so let him understand you a regular dude too. You was a regular dude like he is, and you still a regular dude who's trying to figure shit out every day. And once kids understand that dads are niggas too, then they'll open up. But just have the conversation, man, and he'll open, and he'll follow suit and continue the conversation. Don't just let it be one conversation and think that fixed it. But open up, keep an open dialogue, and not only for this, but for everything. Again, another thing I tell my sons is always make sure I'm your first phone call. I don't ever want my kids to say, "Oh man, I fucked up. My dad can't find out about this." I want my kids to always be like, "Man, I fucked up. I need to call my dad." So I always want to make them know that regardless of how upset I may be, how much you think you may have disappointed me, how much you think you off track, come to me and we'll figure this out. But I always want to make sure that you're like, "Man, I need some guidance. I need to call my pops." Just make sure he's comfortable, knowing that you're there and you're not going to judge him. So that's all I got.
Yeah.
But we've, Al, you've been through it. Me and Pooh kind of at the point where we're about to go through it. And I'm sure, Al, you can attest that, it's not just now. It's not just the 13-year-old shit. It's other shit after this that you're going to have to stay on top of your game.
All through life. I mean, right. I like your point about, trying to make it a conversation that evolves and that y'all are building on, because, you're right. They're going to need your guidance for, more than just that one instance. So here's the opportunity to to start building on that trust, building on that safe space, so that he'll know that he can come to you. And I also would say, don't be afraid to involve others, as y'all are having these conversations. Like maybe the first couple are ones that, are just between y'all, but, there's a lot of people that can help if you are, uncomfortable or unsure about something that comes up in those conversations. So at the end of the day, the idea that it's a village trying to raise these kids, I believe in that. So I've been one who is whole. I really am about surrounding my kids with good people and letting them know that, please believe I'm surrounding you with these people because I trust these people and I'm expecting them to pour into you. So tap into them as well, whether I'm around or I'm not around, because I wouldn't bring anybody around that I'm afraid of what they would say to you in terms of the advice and guidance they would give you. Might not be the same thing I would say, might not be the same way I would say it, but I do believe that the advice would be from a space of they want the best for you. So, I also would advise that, like, don't be afraid to involve others, whether, because that can help too. That can help too. You never know who's going to be the one, or whatever the topic is, whatever the subject is, to get a young person to say, you know what? I'm listening. Right. And it might not be your daddy, might not be your mommy, but the point is, I need you to listen to somebody who is looking out for you.
Right. Absolutely. Well, again, Dante, we appreciate you trusting us with this, man. Hope everything is well. If you haven't had the conversation yet, have it. That's the one thing I would say. If you have, continue to have it, and I hope he takes heed and, like Al said, listens to you or listens to somebody in your circle. And like Pooh said, just take it easy. Don't be intimidated and don't be intimidating. And just have the talk, man. Once that first word comes out, it flows freely. So kudos to you. If you want to follow back up with us, either on the record or off the record, feel free to shoot us an email, man, so we can know how things are going. All right, y'all.
Want to do that call on three-way with us, man? We cool. We'll rock it with you.
You got to give your son the call in number.
I want you to do somebody.
Right.
Right.
Who the fuck is Al?
Yo, wow.
Who the fuck is Pooh? That's what his son gonna say.
I ain't never met that motherfucker.
Right. Man, fuck that. I'm going to get some pussy. Oh, man.
Yo.
That would be hilarious.
Wow. Oh, man. I don't feel bad for that kid. Man. Oh, man. Well, y'all, look at us. We an hour into the show, and it's time for trivia. What the hell? Shit, Pooh, go ahead and give us that trivia, man, so we can get this shit over with.
Let's get it, man. Say no more. Right. I'm going to say what we say all the time, man. Short show. That's what we always hear.
Yeah, short show. We're about to break a record up.
Short show.
Man, y'all don't understand our pain, man. We didn't have to deal with Money and West Coast and Keon. We ain't never had an hour-long show.
Oh.
So, man.
Never.
Money handled us last night, yo.
Oh, word, man.
He was telling stories. He doubled back and did a second story. I was like, bro.
Remix.
bro, how you get two stories?
Oh, man.
Here we go. All right, so I have four sections, okay? State capitals, got me? Mm-hmm. HBCU, college mascots. Okay. I have the section called Devin Hester, which is the longest plays in NFL history.
Okay.
All right. So, let me tell you about this now. So, there's a clear-cut number one, and number two is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-way tie.
Oh, wow.
If you give me any one of those, you'll get the points. But it's just like, yeah. So, you'll get 30 for the number one.
All right.
If you name the number one. So, I'll just take names, and it's going to take 4 names. So, I'll give you 20 for either one of the other ones. Got me?
Okay. Got you. All right.
Okay. The last one is Burt Reynolds, The Longest Yard.
Right. About the movie?
No.
No.
Oh, I was about to
You
say,
ain't that
God.
lucky, bro.
Nah, I ain't never seen the movie. That's why I was hoping. Like, jeez.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Okay.
good movie.
Okay. Let me go back to the Devin Hester. I failed to to name a key component. These are kick returns. Well, these are kickoff returns.
Okay.
Okay. Longest kickoff returns in NFL history.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Strictly kickoffs or punt returns? Strictly kickoff. Okay.
Strictly kickoffs.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Burt Reynolds, the longest yard. Those are just the longest NFL plays.
Gotcha. Okay.
In NFL history.
I got you.
All right.
Okay.
And those are, okay, of course, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay. And also, I will give you a hint. Okay. I will give you a name, and of course, do what you do with that.
Both categories you can get?
No. Only the Burt Reynolds.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Gotcha.
Burt Reynolds. Okay, let me put.
Any other rules you got for us, man?
20.
Yeah, right. I'm a
Nah, I like to give you all that. I like to give you all that hint, man.
Right. I thought you about to be like, the last category is calculus. I'm like, nah. I quit. I'm about to be like Simba. I hate it here.
I hated it. Okay. Here we go, man. I lost to
West
Coast last week.
Who should have been Al. So Al go first.
Go ahead. Hey, there it is. Al. Well, first.
So let me try Burt Reynolds. So I just need to give you one of the top 4 longest plays ever.
Well, no, Burt Reynolds is there's a 10, 20, 30, 40. The Devin Hester category is
You just give him a name. Yeah.
So Devin Hester, let me go with Cordell Patterson.
Cordero Patterson is the number 1, the longest play in NFL history, 109-yard kickoff return in 2013 while playing with the Minnesota Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me give you your points, Al. 30. All right, Jay, on you.
What were the other 2 categories? I can't
Burt
remember.
Reynolds, the longest yard.
Yeah.
HBCU college mascots.
Okay.
And state capital.
Man. Let me go state capitals for 40.
Charleston.
Hold on, you just giving me the name and I got to tell you the state?
I'm gonna give you the capital. Yeah, you tell me the state.
Oh.
My bad. Should have mentioned that.
Yeah.
Charleston.
Charleston is the capital of West Virginia.
6, 5. West Virginia. That is correct.
Nice.
Put. Let me tell myself that this has been taken. There it is. Okay. So get down here. My bad, gentlemen. Trying to maneuver through this phone. Jay, 40. Al, on you, brother.
Let me do Burt Reynolds for 40.
Burt Reynolds for 40. Okay. Longest NFL interception TD in NFL history. And the hint is Napoleon Kaufman.
So I'm giving you the person who caught it?
Yeah, you giving me the person who made that play.
Oh, I have no idea. So
7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
I don't know. Deion Sanders.
And Deion Sanders is incorrect. Al, do you know? Jay, you know that?
Just based off the hint, is it Charles Woodson?
It's Ed Reed.
Oh, Ed Reed. Was it against the Raiders?
No, it wasn't against the Raiders. It's just because when Napoleon Kaufman played for Washington, they played against Miami and he broke that like 57 games.
Okay.
It went streak that
Oh,
day.
So what? So say that again now. Why is Napoleon Kaufman? Help me with the clue.
Because
was a
he was on that
roundabout
team to beat Miami once Miami had like that 57-game win streak, and Ed Reed played for Miami. Not at the same time though.
Right.
So it doesn't have it has some type of correlation, but not a key correlation.
And it was a number 4, so I get it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, shit. Let me go back to state capitals for 50.
No, there's no 50. There's just 40.
Oh, there's 40. All right, for 30.
Okay, 30. I mean, how could I put? Where's my thumbs down? Yeah, I just put the glove right there. Let me know that one's been taken. You said state capitals for 40? For 30?
Yeah.
Okay, Dover.
Dover is Delaware.
Delaware. Dover, Delaware. I'm surprised you ain't get on them capitals. Al?
Yeah, me too.
I want to get the easy money.
That might have been a strategic error on my part.
Right. That's like me avoiding Pop.
Right. But let me stay where my money. Let me stay in the touchdowns because I might get the 30 here. So let me get the 30. Burt Reynolds.
30. Burt Reynolds. Okay. The longest missed field goal return in NFL history.
Oh wow! Really?
Hint. Hint.
Hint. Okay.
Hint. Florida State Seminole.
Devin Hester.
6. Well, in history, they got it as Antonio Cromartie.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have. I think Devin was like 99, maybe, and
Antonio was like 106 or something like that.
Yeah, 106.
Okay. Yeah, it's not looking good. Alvin fans out there, brace yourself.
Jay on you,
man. Yeah, I'm trying to get on my 1-game neat streak. Let me go Capitals for 20.
Capitals for 20. Can't believe Al didn't go up there. Carson City. Carson
City is Nevada.
6. Carson City, Nevada. That is correct. Bro, I had really forgot Carson City too. I totally didn't remember Carson City.
It's funny. I just had like 2 weeks ago a geometry lesson with my kids to make sure they knew how to not know, but at least show them where all these capitals and states are. So I just had this conversation.
Right.
So.
Right. Lucky you.
Right.
Al.
So what's left, man? Because I need to catch up. Where can I get some money at?
You got kickoffs. I mean, you got kickoffs. You know, all of those are worth 20. And you got HBCU college mascots and 10 for state capitals. And Burt for 10, 20.
Let me try. Let me try HBCU for 30.
HBCU for 30. Okay. Alabama A&M University. 7, 6.
Hey, you ain't even gonna throw me like Morehouse or nothing, man. Wow.
2.
The Tigers.
The Tigers, man, that is close. They're actually the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs, yeah.
Oh,
damn. You put a glove by that.
damn.
Jay, on you, brother.
Let me go. What's the score?
40, 70, 90, 90, 30 U.
All right. Let me go mascots for 40.
Mascots for 40. For 40, Stillman College, Tuscaloosa, Alabama. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Tigers.
Tiger is correct.
Are you fucking serious?
Oh man, I could have guessed the Tigers. Oh, you're killing me. Wow.
Oh, shit.
Hey, what the shot in the dark, isn't it?
Oh, you're
Tiger,
right. I was
man.
like, hey,
Can't
he
go
said
wrong with a tiger
it's got to be a
bulldog,
tiger
man.
somewhere in here.
Right.
Oh,
right,
man.
Right.
And then I couldn't get out of my head Hillman. I kept thinking, man, what Denise and what's his name? Dwayne
Right,
Wayne.
right. Dwayne Wayne. Yeah.
Man.
Al, on you, brother.
Yo, real talk. I'm like,
You just missed the tiger, man. Just missed
oh man,
Just missed him.
I'm stuck. I'm stuck right now. I mean, let me go. Let's go. Kick returns.
Kick returns. All right.
I don't know nobody over here either. I only knew who hit the Patterson dude. Let's go with who's been a dope. What was that dude's name?
You. One. Give me something, Al.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing.
Oh, you ain't got nothing.
Tell me one of the names. Who was one of the names?
Niall Davis in 2013.
Wow, Niall Davis. Wow.
108 yards.
Yeah. And we signed that bum. He can do nothing for us. Kid fumbled in the play. Man, go ahead, though, man. Let me get state capitals for 10. Fucking Niall Davis.
State capitals for 10. Austin. 5.
Texas.
Hey, you should have got some of that easy money, man.
Man, that was barbecue chicken right there.
Yeah, man.
Let me try HBCUs for 20.
It's that pride on Al, man.
It really is.
He didn't want to take that easy money, man. What you asked for, Al?
20 HBCU
20
mascots.
HBCUs. Oh man, why did you even pick this, man? Talladega College.
That's the 20?
Alabama. Yeah. Stay away from these, man. It's 5.
Yeah, right.
4.
I'm gonna try Bulldogs.
2. Oh, that's close, man. That is incorrect, man. I'll give you a hint, man. They're not the Hurricanes.
Tornadoes?
They are the Tornadoes, man.
What college is that?
Talladega
Oh, wow.
College in Alabama.
Mm.
Oh, wow. I didn't even realize that. I picked all Alabama schools.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I mean, I figured the Hamptons and the I figured all of those would be the barbecue chicken.
That's the point.
You're right.
I'm just playing. Go ahead.
Jay, what you got, man? You got HBCUs for 10. You got 2 kick returners left for 20, and Burt Reynolds for 10-20.
Man, I'm going to kick returners because it can't be no more Tigers and Bulldogs out there. So, and I damn sure don't know no tornadoes. So I'm going to kick returners. Let me go Jacoby Jones.
Jacoby Jones.
Oh, I should have guessed. I forgot about him.
Jacoby Jones, 20. And let me see. Jacoby Jones, man. 2014. 108 yards.
Okay.
In fact, it should have been a double pointer because he did it twice.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
2000.
Yeah.
No, but it's not.
Oh.
2012, 2014.
Felt good for a minute, though.
Right. All right, Al, on you.
I'll do Burt Reynolds for 20.
Burt for 20. This is really a 10, yo. Longest Super Bowl defensive TD. The hands of tone is
the hands of tone.
The hands of tone. I mean, you can omit that if you ain't want to. If you already know it, don't even pay attention.
Apparently, I don't, because what I was guessing ain't got nothing to do with no tone.
But don't even pay attention to that though. Don't even pay attention. Just answer what you're gonna answer. 5.
Pooh, be quiet.
4. 3.
Can't even think of the dude's name.
2. 1. Give me some, Al.
Greg Lloyd.
Hate to see you looking like
he said Greg Lloyd.
Hey, right team though. Right team.
I know. I can't think of the linebacker's name.
Oh man, Al, you celebrated the hell out your birthday. I can tell. Oh man.
Yeah. What's that dude's name?
James Harrison.
That's his name. I knew. I could see him running down the sidelines right now with the Cardinals.
And you don't know where the hands of tone comes from. Jay, you know where that come from?
Santonio Holmes caught the winning touchdown in the corner at the end of that game.
Gotcha.
It was calling him the hands of tone. Yeah.
So,
Still, in my opinion, one of the, if not the greatest player in Super Bowl history. That was just one of, to me, just the greatest throw, greatest catch. It was just an amazing play.
Yeah.
It was an amazing play.
It's up there.
Yeah. All right, Jay, man, you got 10 for Bert. You got one more. Two more kick returners left, and one mascot.
I ain't gonna guess no kick returner. No more in Burnt Reynolds, right?
Yeah, number 10. They got one more.
Okay. Let me do Burt.
Okay. Longest kick punt return in Super Bowl history. Your hint is Ozzie Newsome. 5, 4.
Longest punt return in Super Bowl history?
Yeah. 3.
Oh shit.
No. It was labeled kick punt. I'm sorry, but it's the longest kick return.
Oh.
I don't know why that kick punt. Yeah.
Kick punt?
I just copied it.
Oh, I thought that was
longest kick return. No, go ahead. The longest kick return in Super Bowl history. Ozzie Newsome is the hint. 5.
That's Jacoby Jones.
4. That's Jacoby Jones again.
Yeah.
Y'all want to let this go? Y'all want to finish this up, man?
You ain't gotta do me like that, Pooh. I'm just saying, you ain't gotta do me like that.
Hey, you got 2
I'm
kick returners.
I'm entitled to one more.
2 kick returners and 1 HBCU.
Bulldogs.
I give you a hint, man, with the HBCU. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, with the HBCU, man.
Let me do HBCU since you offer
HBCU, man. Alabama State University, and there it's a type of insect that stings.
Damn.
Oh,
Right.
oh, and what letter does it start with?
Right.
4. 2.
The Hornets.
Hornet. That is correct, Al.
I almost said why. I almost said
I
why.
thought he was gonna say Yellow Jackets, and I was like, "Come on."
No, I was like, that would be too easy because he went to the color. So,
I figure you ain't mind that, Jay. It's like a 120-point lead.
Man.
appreciate you,
man. I do want to show up again next week. So yeah.
All right, Jay. 2 kick returns, buddy. I'm gonna go ahead and count it down. 7.
2 kick returns.
6. Yeah.
4. Rod Woodson.
Rod Woodson, that's incorrect. I'll go ahead and give you guys one. Ellis Hobbs from the New England Patriots, 108 yards in 2007.
I thought that about made the number get burned by Plexico in the Super Bowl, but I guess he did something.
He did something. What was the kid number, 27?
Mm-hmm.
Like that. Al, you got one more. Devin Hester category. I'm going to start the countdown now. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Give me something.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill is incorrect, but I will go ahead and give you the guys that you didn't name. Randall Cobb, 108 yards in 2011.
Wow.
David Johnson, his rookie year in 2015. And that rounded it off, guys. That was it.
Wow.
Good one, man.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, that was fun.
that.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Y'all don't want me to get that final tally, do you?
Nah,
Sure.
we're good.
I mean,
We
you
good.
can text it to me if you want to.
Yeah. You ain't got to put that on the air, son. You ain't got to do that.
Yeah, you're right. Jay's victorious, man.
What a rhyme,
Leave
huh?
it at that. Leave it at that.
Oh man, well, Pooh, man, you hosted very good categories, man. What you got for me? What's your parting shot?
Man, hey, you guys know what it is, man. States are opening up. I know I'm beginning to sound redundant, man, but definitely be careful. You see now, that even the White House is not exempt. So, bro, be easy out there. Don't be out there naked face, naked hands. Do whatever you need to do. Take all precautions. And this is funny because last night on Speak the Truth, I was like, yo, have that talk with your son, your daughter about sex. And we end up having to talk about it tonight. But
wow,
that's all I want to do, man. Yeah, peace.
All right. Al, what's good? What you got for me? You finished second,
man.
So you go.
I don't know because I ain't hear the score, so I'm not really sure what the final score was.
Oh,
1-7-30, man.
Nah, see, you ain't got to do that.
1-7-40, my bad.
You know, I just wanted to say, it's missed it not being on here last week, so good to be back. Appreciate it. Good show, and yeah, I'll see y'all next week, man. That's it. I ain't got much.
No doubt.
Love this.
Yeah, kind of along the lines of what we talked about in our listener question. I don't know if anybody saw the Facebook Live post that Lil Boosie Badass posted, basically saying that, you know, when he I think this was like yesterday, I saw it. He hired or paid for, I don't know if it's necessarily a hiring process, but he paid for a grown-ass woman to give his son's head when they turn 13. And was bragging about it, saying, I keep my sons right, I'm going to make sure they good. This is some backwards-ass thinking that shows a lack of evolution in our community. This is a reason why a lot of young men are emotionally unintelligent and cannot think past their dicks. Shame on Boosie for that shit. And if that's what you do, that's what you do. But don't promote that shit. You know, this is why at times I have a love-hate relationship with hip-hop, because these motherfuckers don't know how to be responsible with their platform. What you do with your kids is what you do with your kids, whether I agree with it or not. But don't promote that shit, man, because people look up to you. Believe it or not, other grown-ups with other sons look up to you. That's some bullshit, man. So shout out to Boosie for remaining to live up to who we know he is. So fuck you, Boosie. That's just not necessary. That's all I got.
All right.
But yeah, man, this has been, we're at a record pace for our shortest episode ever. So we refuse to hit an hour and 30 minutes. We are right now at 1:28 on the dot. So this has been episode 157 down in the record books of the Defy Life Podcast. It's been real. It's been great as always. Check us out on Defy Life Pods and all the other platforms. We'll talk to y'all next week. Until then, Defy Life.
Defy Life.
We're told that greatness is exceptional when it should be expected. You choose every day to live your life intentionally, without apology for how bright your light may shine. So go be great. Go be brilliant. Go be you. Go defy life. The Defy Life movement is one that speaks to each of us in its own way. Defy Life gear speaks to us all by reminding us that one size does not fit all. Visit defylifegear.com to get fitted for greatness.